Greetings from ManageEngine Desktop Central. So today we have gathered here to go for a quick training on asset management. So if you're able to hear my voice and view the presentation slide, please confirm by commenting on chat. Well, so here we go with today's schedule. So we are on the third week. So it's a 7-week series and we are now in week 3. And the below URL has the recording of the previous webinars of Desktop Central. So about me, my name is Leonard. I'm going to be your presenter for today, and I have the industry experience for 10 years, and out of which 6 years with the ManageEngine. So I predominantly assist the customers in implementing Desktop Central, OS Deployer, and MDM, respectively. Fine. So today's agenda. So let's have a quick overview about the asset management, how it works. And this webinar is designed based upon the problem and solution approach, understanding the beginners, mid-users, and as well as the advanced users of Desktop Central. And to explain the features, I've taken 3 scenarios out of my support experience. Scenario 1, I would be managing Microsoft Office 2016 license. Scenario 2, controlling the bandwidth spikes and non-standard applications. And scenario 3, planning of Windows 10 upgrade, and followed by few quick scenarios and solutions. And at the end, we are going to discuss about the frequently asked questions. And meanwhile, for each session, once the module is completed, I would recommend you to please raise your questions through the chat, and we have an expert panel sitting over here awaiting for your chat in order to address you accordingly. Fine. So let's go ahead on the Desktop Central. And before that, I would like to emphasize on one important event which is going to happen by tomorrow. So you might have experienced about the recent outbreak of WannaCrypt ransom. So we are hosting a training. It's going to be a free training with loaded information about how to secure your machines using Desktop Central. So I would invite you for this free training in order to get more insight on the happenings. Well, so let's come back with the Desktop Central asset management. So Desktop Central supports the shown environment of Windows, Mac, and Linux. So we have a database of 13,000 commercial applications, which we are getting it from our customers. And this 13,000 is growing and supported by Desktop Central. So this is going to be the architecture of Desktop Central. So the architecture is going to be a server and client model. A Desktop Central server can be installed in your local office, and the agents are installed on all client computers. Installing the Desktop Central agent on client is a one-time job, and once it's installed, the upgrade of the Desktop Central agents are automatically taken care by the Desktop Central servers. And agents would be contacting the Desktop Central server periodically to pick up the task, and Desktop Central supports the LAN, WAN, and even the roaming users, like users always on the go. And when it comes for the management in the branch office, like your remote office, it's recommended to have a distribution server for remote offices to save your bandwidth. And similarly, roaming users can access the Desktop Central through the VPN, like a virtual private network, or NATing, the network address translation. So you need to open the required ports on the server in order to ensure the computers are managed smoothly. And here we go with certain ports. So you could see a list of ports, and these are the ports which needs to be open in order to have a smooth communication. And going forward, so let's talk about the agent and server communication. So we have a 90 minutes refresh policy. So Desktop Central agent would be contacting the server at every 90 minutes, and this is called the agent refresh cycle. This is to ensure that all computers in the network contact the server periodically. And based on that, we have two important factors which is ensured over here. Number one, the network is not choked by agent communication, meaning that the bandwidth is not disturbed due to the agent-server communications. Number two, the performance of the server is not affected at any time. So server has an intelligence to ensure the systematic streamlined communication from all the agents at regular interval. To be more precise, for make it more understandable. So for example, let's take a 90 computers environment. According to this 90 minutes refresh policy, so one computer will be reaching out the Desktop Central server per minute. And when it goes for a 900 computers network, so 10 computers will reach out to the Desktop Central server per minute. And similarly, if it is going to be the large network of 9,100 machines will reach out the Desktop Central per minute. So this is about the agent refresh policy between Desktop Central server and agent. Well, so now we are going into the core management of asset, how this asset management works. So here you could see about the Desktop Central server with the clients. So scanning is an important task for asset management. So whenever an agent is installed, it's going to perform a scan and post the data to the Desktop Central server. And for the very first time, it's going to perform a complete surface scan to collect all the information about the computer hardware and software and post the information to the Desktop Central server. Going forward on the next schedule scan, it's going to perform a differential scan. So it is going to compare the value of the previous history and shows only the difference in the scan, so which is called the differential data scan. And only that information is going to be sent to the server to maintain that information, and this is not going to take much time. And subsequently, the same differential scan, which would post only the changes made from the last successful changes in the machine, like a hardware and software changes. And this would drastically reduce the bandwidth being used by Desktop Central agent for data posting. And the scan could be initiated on demand by choosing the machines from the Desktop Central server, and also could be scheduled from the Desktop Central server. However, the agent has an intelligent scanning, which triggers the scan whenever there is a change happens in the machine. Well, so here we go with a first scenario about managing the Office 2016 licenses. To explain the scenario, I'm going to create a quick scenario-based session. So this would help you to understand how to manage this Office 2016 licenses in your network. So imagine I'm an administrator of my organization, and my responsibility is to install and manage the software licenses. And Office 2016 is one of the common application which is most widely used across all the enterprise, and even in my organization, we are using it on the go. So recently, my organization has purchased 20 Office licenses to install to our finance team. So let me show you how this could be done with the help of Desktop Central. Well, so I'm taking you to the inventory model of Desktop Central. In the left pane, you could see Manage License under the Actions and Settings view. When I click on the Manage License, here we go on the right pane, you could see the list of managed licenses. And now I'm going to show you how to add the license. Before that, I just want to give a quick information. Like in most of the enterprise, the license is managed only in an Excel sheet. So the user may not know, or the administrator may not know, in how many machines the licenses are applied, how many machines are running with that specific application. So if you'd like to pull an audit report, you may not have a chance to get the details except the license count what you maintain in a book of Excel. But when it comes to the Desktop Central, especially with managed license, you could see the information in reality, like how many machines are using this application and what are the users, including the complaint status. So let's talk much in depth over here, and I'm just going to show you how to add the license. So I'm just going down, adding a license over here. Specify the application name and the other informations. You can choose the application from here as you wish. You can search for the application and you can select. And for the betterment, I'm just going to take my Office 2016, which I've already added. So here we go. I'm just modifying and showing you the details. So I'm just given with all the information, and this license name has to be done by Desktop Central, like it's a internal tracking ID, which automatically takes care, followed by the purchase date. So we recommend to provide you the purchase date, and using this date, we have a report for you which helps you to understand the renewal time. When it has come closer to the renewal, you'll be getting a report on this, and this report could be scheduled and get notified. I'll show you later when we cover the reports. Coming down, here we go. So you can just save the setup and you can go further on this. Now, I've already installed applications onto my machines. So I don't need to choose anything. I can just simply go to the install computers. I can select the computers. I can just move it across. So whatever machines are installed, it shows over here. I can just save it. And now it shows me the list of applications which is available. So I have 25 Office license. Well, similarly, if I want to go ahead and add a license, but I don't have the application available in my network, I want to add a license. Yes, you can go ahead, add the license, and if you know to which machine you're planning to deploy this application, just please go with the managed machines, select the machine and associate it to the computer. So what are the machines which you're planning to manage, and you can just save it. So this will create a template and it keeps in the database. However, when you're installing the application, that's going to get matched up. So this is the normal information how to add a license. Well, in case if you're having a bulk of applications in your network and it's not going to be a simple task to add the license one after another. So we understand the tedious process, so we have come up with the import CSV option. If you have all the license in your network and you have the license information in your Excel, please go ahead, use this example CSV. The format should be as it is. There should be no change in the format. You can add the values of the machine, the username, the computer name and other details. If you do not have any information to be furnished, just use a comma separated, so that skips that value, and then you can go ahead, choose the file and import the license, and the license is going to get added as it is. So this is the simplest form to add the license. And just to go ahead with the complaint status, just to show you the complaint status, so you should be able to see 3 different complaints. It's like in compliance, over licensed, and under licensed. So let's talk about what is a complaint. So let's see that in compliance. In compliance, meaning the number of license purchased is equal to the number of installation in the network is called as in compliance. So I have purchased 1 license, installed it in 1 computer successfully, so it is shown as a in compliance. Over licensed. The number of license purchased is more than the number of installation in the network is known as the over licensed. So meaning that I have purchased 192 licenses, but I have installed only on 3 machines. I still have 189 machines like license still in my hand, so which I could use for my future requirement, which is known as the over-licensed and under-licensed. I have purchased only 100 license, whereas I have installed it in more than the count of the license, meaning that the number of license purchased is less than the number of installation. So when I see that I'm having 51 licenses exceeding on this case, and this is going to be effectively shown up when there is a software audit summary is going on, and I need to pay the hefty penalty for that. So in such condition, Desktop Central again offers you another alternate method to help yourself to come back to the in compliance status. So when you click on this managed installation, you should be able to see the list of applications. You can choose the unwanted machines where the license is not required and go ahead and uninstall it. This helps you to bring you back to the in compliance status. Fine. So let me come back to the story again. So we have added the 25 users license and we are good to go with the compliance. Now, later on, I got a request from my HR team asking for adding this Microsoft Office 2016 license for a new user who joins to the finance team. So I need to install at least 5 users with this Office 2016. But according to my license status, it's in compliance. I don't have any license to be used. If I'm going to be in a situation without using Desktop Central, certainly I'll be going for a new procurement, like new purchase of Office license. But since I'm having my Desktop Central over here, so I'm going to use another method to figure out any chance or any possibilities to use my existing license. So for that, I'm going to use software metering. A software metering is going to help you to effectively identify the usage of the applications in the network. So for that, we need to go add a rule to get this information. So I've already added a rule. I'm just going to show you about the rule over here. So here we go. So I've just created a rule name and specified the file name. So I'm now looking only for the MS Office with the Word. So I want to pull a report about this case. When I'm going to use this file name, I want the exact file name because there are more chances the user may go to the program files, MS Office, and if the user renames the file like 123.exe, then I cannot get the real information. So for that reason, it's recommended right-click that specific file and click on the properties. You'll be able to see the original file name, and that cannot be changed since it's a hard-coded. So specify that file name over here and update it. So now what happens in the background? We have updated this information only on the server side. So on the next 90 minutes refresh policy, the agent will contact the server and identify there is a rule created for software metering. They pick up the rule and they go back and they'll observe the application usage in the machines. So whenever an application is opened, for example, if I open a Word, then that's counted as I'm using this application. So it started counting the usage. And this information is going to be collected in the Desktop Central agent side. Afterwards, by end of the day, like midnight, this information is going to be posted back to the Desktop Central server. So once this information is reaching the server is going to manipulate this information and going to publish a report on the next day. So you would be able to see the report like how many machines are using this application, how many times it has been used, and how long it has been used. So this information is going to be more vital to you to understand how effectively an application is going to be used. By clicking on the count, you can see the machine name, the usage count, the duration, and you could go ahead, enable more information about when it was last used, the product name, the file version, and everything. You can get complete information. So based on this, I could see like I have a single digit users, those who are not frequently using this Office. So I can talk to the respective reporting person of these users, and I can revert the license from them. I can give it back to my users who has requested for Office 2016. So without going for a new purchase, I have managed the situation with the help of this software metering. Well, going forward in the course of few months later, again, a new joinees of 20 people have come into the finance team. So I have given another responsibility of adding them for the MS Office 2016 installation process. So now it's obvious I don't have any more license because everything has been completely utilized. So I need to go for a new purchase. And the same Office 2016 version, only I'm just going to upgrade to extra 20 users. In such condition, I don't want to go create another add license file. So we have an ability to go back and add the license using add more feature. So this feature will help me to show up for extra 20 machines, adding the purchase date and providing all the information and just saving the data. It's going to show me over here. You can see here. So earlier when we started, we could see only 25 machines. It was in complaints. I've added 20 more machines for the new users. Those are coming to my finance department. So here we go. It's over licensed now. And if you want to go and see the details about the Office, click on it. It shows the values which has been added. So the add-on purchase and when it was purchased, you can see all the details as it is. So this gives you a visibility to understand when you have upgraded the license and you can go with this option. And now, if you have the same situation of having multiple applications in the same series or different versions of the same application, you can go ahead, use a group software. This group software will help you to add your groups by providing a group name, searching for an application, you can add it. So you could see about all the applications, you can just add it. And for the benefit, I've just added Office 365. You could see about it. So we have different versions of Office 365. I've added everything and we have collected this information. So this is how to manage the Office 2016 license to the network. Fine. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding this manage license, request you to please go ahead, raise your questions, and our expert panel would be providing the assistance for you. So now let's move on to the second session. So the second session, I'm going to create another scenario for you to make it more easy to understand the situation. We're going to see two different feature set in asset management by this scenario. So in last admin meeting, there were two important concerns were raised in my organization by the network administrators. Number one, a considerable amount of bandwidth was consumed by desktops, leading to an application called Google Talk, which was used most commonly in most of my machines. Number two, there was a usage of an unauthorized applications in the desktops. So the network team identified these two scenarios and they have notified me to handle this. So as an administrator, it's my responsibility to address the situation. So let me show you how this has been handled in my network. I'm going to take you to a prohibited software in asset management. Under the inventory, in the left pane, you could see prohibited software. So the prohibited software is going to help us to identify the application, what you're going to add, which you seems to be or which you have defined or determined as an unwanted application that's going to get added in this prohibited software, and it's going to show us where this application is installed. And just to make it more easy, so we have a workflow here. So we are going to add the prohibited software by creating a rule, and it's going to be picked up by the agents on the next contact. An agent is going to check on the machines about the prohibited application, whether it's installed in that machine. And going forward, we have certain features to uninstall the prohibited software. We can uninstall this application automatically without notifying the user, and with notifying user, we can go ahead and use this option. So let me quickly take you back to the product in order to show you how this could be happen in reality. Well, so I've already got this Google Talk is the unwanted application which is used in the network. But still I'm curious to know about in how many machines it's installed. So I'm going to use my inventory reports to catch up this information, and under software reports, I have an exclusive report called computers with or without specific software. So this report is going to help me to identify any specific application is installed in the network or not. I can go ahead, choose my domains. I can go ahead, choose my custom group. So let me talk quickly about the custom group here. So custom group is a feature in Desktop Central which helps you to create a group and assign a set of machines or users in the network. So I'm just going to take you to the custom group to show you. You can go to the admin tab. In the left pane, you can see a custom group. Just click on the custom groups. It shows you an option of all the existing custom groups and also gives a way to go ahead, create a new custom group. Specify a custom group. You can create a custom group on 3 different scenarios, like 3 different categories. One is static unique, and dynamic. A static unique is going to be of creating a group name for the given domain or work group, choose the machines, and associate it. You can associate. You can choose based upon the tree or based upon the list of machines according to the alphabetical order, or you can also add using a import CSV if we have the list. This is for the computers. Similarly, we can also do this for the users. If you want, you can just go ahead and use it for the user for the same set of criteria. Once it's created, so it is going to have only these machines under this custom group. Well, this is for defining anything for your configuration of patch management, software deployment, and even for pulling the information on the inventory. And the second option is about static unique. So the static unique is nothing but the same method of creating a custom group by choosing a specific machines only. You will not be seeing the users because this is going to be used for a user administration role, which we could discuss in brief on our 5th week of training under configurations. And going forward, the dynamic. So the dynamic custom group is going to help us to choose based upon the columns of operating system, computer types, and softwares. So if I want to create an operating system group, I can go ahead, create a complete Windows 10 group. So it's going to show all of my Windows 10 machines across my domain. Even if I'm having multiple domain and even if I'm having multiple remote offices, it's going to show everything under one roof of Windows 10. Similarly, I can also group the machines by the computer type. I can select based upon the machine type, whether it's going to be laptop. Yes, I can do that right away. So this is the easy method to create a custom group in order to have all the desired machines over there. So fine, you can also use the custom group, but now I'm going to choose the domain. So I'm coming back to the same story where we have left. Now my intention is all about going and pulling the report for Google Talk. So I'm choosing this Google Talk and selecting and generating the report. Wow, it's quite considerable amount. It's 150 machines are using this Google Talk, which is going to be more expensive in my network. Fine, I'm taking you back to the prohibited software. In order to add, just go down, click on it, add prohibited software, specify the Google Talk. You'll be able to see the Google Talk here. You can add it. So I can just quickly show you the Google Talk, which I have already added. And you can see here about the information like Google Talk. Once it's added, it gives you the clear visibility about in how many machines. So we already discussed about it under the computers with or without specific software. So using that option, we have collected the information and we could see here. Now it's my turn to uninstall this application. So how I'm going to uninstall this application? And again, I just want to give you a quick information to make things work as you expect. So coming down here, uninstallation process. So you can see the installer type with MSI and EXE. And if you notice here in Keen, you could see about it says not applicable and it says not configured. So what is not applicable and what is not configured? Well, so giving you a quick insight about MSI application. So an MSI application is going to be a Microsoft installer package which has all the bundled application and associated files with a silent switches, which does not require any silent switch to uninstall. So we can go ahead. If you add any MSA application and add prohibited software, yes, we can go ahead and uninstall it. Whereas if it is for EXE application, when we go down to uninstall an EXE application, any EXE application which you're planning to deploy in your enterprise, it's supposed to provide with the silent switches. And a silent switch is something which is going to be provided by the vendor, the manufacturer of the application. So configure the silent switch over here. And for the benefit of the time, I'll just configure it over here. You can see the silent switches. So the silent switches are already provided over here. You can pre-fill the uninstall command, which automatically fits the information. If you know the location where the application is residing, yes, you can provide the application as it is, and you can save it. Well, so that's going to give me the silent switch. Now, my next target is going to be uninstallation process. So I can go ahead, uninstall the application. I have an option of enabling the automatic uninstallation, and you could see about the file count. The file count is nothing but it helps you to uninstall the application on 5 different prohibited software in the network. For example, if I'm having a prohibited software of 5 different prohibited software installed on my machine, on the next reboot, it's going to uninstall the application with the provided silence, which is for EXE, or if it is an MSI, it's not required. So it's going to uninstall during the boot process. So if it is going to be more than 10, in case if the user has multiple prohibited software, it takes more time for the user to boot the process. The boot process takes more time since it's uninstalling the application in the background during that time. So to avoid this, we recommend you to go with this 5. So it helps you to uninstall in a swift manner and brings you back to the bootable. So now with the help of this, it is going to uninstall the machines and the applications. It's going to uninstall the applications to the target machine successfully. And once it's completed, no machine is going to have Google Talk. Again, I'm having another challenge over here because all my top management guys like CEOs, CIOs, those who are using this Google Talk has reported me like even their machines have been uninstalled with the Google Talk. So it's going to be a chaos. I don't want to bother my top management guys, so I'm just going to use this configure global exclusion. Choosing my domain, I can select my managers, move it across to the exclusion list, I can save it. So meaning this would help me to avoid those computers fall under this prohibited software. So by which I can easily uninstall the applications on the other machines. So if other machines are going to get installed as prohibited software again, then their machines will get uninstalled. Well, so going forward, I have the sales team who's looking for this application. So they requested me, like they are using this application for their business purpose to contact the customer. So they are using this Google Talk to interact with the customer. So even they could not use because I've made a complete change globally across my network. So they want to use this Google Talk. Well, I'm going to permit them by using this configure button. So when I click on configure, all the custom groups of domain and even the computers will be shown. So since my department is sales team and the sales department has requested this, I've just chosen the sales department and added. So here we go. So they are allowed to use this Google Talk. However, they cannot use other prohibited software. Fine. So going forward, I don't want to make any mess up. So I made another process of auto uninstallation policy user notification settings. So I just want to know like which users are using this application so that I can get a better visibility, okay, and I can go ahead, I can decide to make them necessary changes. So likewise, I have just made this comment and I've just given a day of 3, which means after I set it up and save the settings, on the next refresh cycle of agents, so if any user is using this prohibited software, they'll be coming up with a prompt on the screen during the logon process. So I'm just going to show you how that screen looks like. Here we go. So this is the pop-up which the user will be coming up with. And you can see about the message which I have conveyed to them. And they'll be having a place to justify the reason for using this application, so they can justify it. And this information is going to be stored under my user request. It will be stored in the user request. I can go down. I can see about the request. So I can contact the respective users reporting person to check whether this application is really required. If so, I'll approve. So the application will be allowed to be used for that user. If not, I can choose deny and click OK. So the application will get uninstalled. And in case if the user ignores this message, the application will get automatically uninstalled after 3 days. And this information you can capture from the auto uninstall status. You'll be able to see all the details, including the software count. And similarly, if you want to know about all the machines where this application, the prohibited software is applied, you can also get this information over here. So by which I got this mission succeeded by doing this Google talk to the prohibited software. Well, I'm still pending with my second constraint of usage of unauthorized applications in the desktops. Fine. So in order to handle that situation, I'm going to use a block executable, which is an enhanced version of prohibited software. I'm just going to the block executable. So in block executable, we have to add a policy. So we have a lot of applications. So these applications are going to be non-standard application, whereas it will not be shown in your add remove program. So it's going to be executed, or it could be called as an executable within the folder. In such condition, we need to add the rule. So likewise, I have an application called PSCP, which is going to be used in the network for a data theft or to make more network traffic. So I'm just adding this application using the path I've already added, so that's why it shows here. Well, so you can see here the application is added. So now what happens is, again, we have made the changes on the server side. So the agent is going to come back, pick the task, and I'm going to show you to whom this rule is going to be applicable. If I'm going to choose all computers group, this will be applied for all the machines in the managed network wherever you have installed agents. And if you want to choose any other specific group, as we already discussed by creating a custom group, so all your custom groups will be shown here. You can choose the appropriate custom group in this place. So likewise, I've chosen. So what happened is, those machines, when they contact server, they'll pick up this task and go back and observe this installation. So when the user of that machine is planning to launch this application, it will be blocked completely. So the user cannot use this application at once. Well, so if a user is going to be smart enough to change the application name instead of pscp.exe to 123.exe, we should be more smarter than them, and Desktop Central does it. So we can go ahead, choose the hash, select that application, and we can add it. So when you select that application is going to show you its MD5 hash. For example, I can just show with a different application, so like this. And you can provide the application name and the version, and you can just add it over here. So this will show you the application right away. So even if the user is changing this extension, the user cannot go ahead and install it. So it is going to be completely tracked by the Desktop Central server. So by which we can make the network smooth, safe, and secure. Fine. So these are the two things which I have attained, and now my network is good to go. Well, so by the which we are coming to the end of the module 2, and I would recommend you to please raise your questions regarding this scenario and get answered from an expert panel. We are moving on to the next module of planning Windows 10 upgrade. Well, so in the recent past, most of the machines are getting upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 8, and Windows 7 and Windows 8 machines are getting upgraded to the Windows 10. So in this situation, how we are going to plan this Windows 10 upgrade using Desktop Central? So obviously Desktop Central cannot upgrade. However, we can check what is the requirement of a Windows 7 or Windows 8, whether it's eligible to get it upgraded to Windows 10 or not. So well, I'm going to take you back to the product in order to show you. And in this regard, I'm going to create reports. So I'm going to talk about the reports. And so we have a set of reports over here. You can see. So we have a set of reports for inventory. You could see about the computers by operating system. And this report is going to show you the list of operating systems. What are the operating system you have? And the manufacturer details. Who is your manufacturer? And the memory details, like what is the size of the memory in the machine, and the disk usage, and the machine's age factor when it was created. So we have the computer by device type, so whether the machines are with the laptop or desktop or what else. So you can see the information about the machines, like it's a desktop or all-in-one or laptop. So likewise, we have a lot of reports over here to show you, but it will take more time if I'm going to show each and every report, so you can experience in your Desktop Central based on this. And these reports are going to help us to collect more information based upon the hardware, and these reports about the software, like the recently installed software. If you want, you can get the prohibited application software and the usage of the software in a machine. And so these recently installed software by manufacturer, and software usage by computer, these three reports are fetched with the help of the Windows, the WMI. And the prohibited software, the software product keys, computers with or without specific software, and the user-specific software metering, we get this with the help of the agent. And you do have a soon-to-expire warranty, an expired warranty, and even the license complaint and license to be renewed. Remember, we were talking about managing Office 2016. During that case, we were discussing about the renewal report. So here we go, this is the renewal report. So this is going to help you to show this report over here in detail. And you can also choose when this license is going to get renewed with the help of the filter, and you can get the details. Well, so coming back to the original story of Windows 10 upgrade. So I'm just going to create a report just to see. And so these reports are predefined report, which we discussed earlier about the Windows and the inventory reports. Now, we do have something called custom report. The custom report helps you to go create a report based upon the computer base. If anything needs to be with a computer base, or anything deals with the hardware like your monitor or processor or memory details, and if anything deals with software like software name, the version, manufacturer, you can make use of this reports, the custom report. So this custom report is going to help you a lot. Well, I've already created the Windows 10 upgrade report, and I'm just going to show you the report over here. And as I already mentioned, we need a criteria for a machine to get upgraded to the Windows 10 operating system. Since Windows 10 operating system is more sophisticated and dynamic, so it needs more memory to equip or to function on the operating system base. So we need to have at least 4 gigs of memory and above. And definitely we need 100 gig and more than 100 gig of space, because I need to have the operating system to be installed in my C drive, which may take a few gigs to have the operating system setup files. So definitely I need to have the machines with the more disk space. And to conclude, I do need to have the warranty as well, because I want the warranty information. If the machine is going to get expired by next month or next year, so I don't want this Windows 10 upgrade. So for that reason, I'm going to choose this warranty. So these are my criteria to pull the report, and you can see here I've chosen the columns. You can choose the columns, and you can select, you can move up the columns, you can remove a column, and you can also move up and down as you wish. Now I'm going to just run a report based upon this. So I've got the report about all the information. So when the machines are going to get expired, and the physical memory and everything is perfect. Well, but still I need to get this message of where these machines are available, because it shows only the machine detail, but I want to know where this machine is available, so by which I can go ahead and try to upgrade and try to provide this report to my resource team in order to take over from there. So I'm going to get department details in my organization. So my departments, like OU is in AD, are based upon the departments. So I'm going to use this departments. So here we go. I've already created a report. And this report is something which is going to be a query report, because I cannot fetch the OU details from my custom report or the predefined report, but still I can fetch the information from the query report. So query report is nothing but it's going to be a kind of a report where I can tailor-made. I can get everything as a tailor-made report. So I can use this query report. It's going to be a SQL language, and we have given a quick tips to construct a SQL language using the report. And if you still need this report and you don't want to create a report by yourself by constructing a query, you can raise a request to us. So we will help you to create a query. So by which I can run the report and I can see my department. So here we go. I can go ahead. I can use this report accordingly. Well, now I got the report. Everything is perfect. So I got everything. Similarly, I just want to show you something since we are in the report. We do have a schedule report. The schedule report will help you to go ahead, get all the information to be scheduled. You can specify the scheduler name, the descriptions, and choose what kind of reports you want. And especially in the inventory, you can get all the reports, whatever you want. And even we have the criteria, which you can choose according to your choice. For example, I just want the computer by operating system only from my remote office. Yes, I can get it. So here we go. So this furnished the details only about my remote offices. Coming down, I have a different formats. In which format I want to view, I can choose the formats. And since I've chosen 4 reports, I can send it through an attachment. And according to my email attachment, it's restricted more than 5 MB in size to carry an attachment in my network. So if I'm going to select few more reports in the inventory, so obviously it's going to make more than the given size. So I can switch over to a zip file which compresses the report and sends across to me. However, if I want to go with all reports and not only with the inventory, even I want to get some report on the patches. So I'm selecting multiple reports here. So even if I'm going to compress it, it's not going to fit into this 5 MB of size. So in such condition, we have given you another option of moving across to URL method. So this URL method facilitates the reports to be sent to your email. You can click on the link and that helps you to show up with the authentication. So you can provide the desktop central username and password and you can get the report. And to whom you want to send the report, you can just specify. And when you want to send the report, you can also choose the report according to your choice. So this report is going to be sent to you periodically on the given date and time. Fine. So by which we have come to the end of planning Windows 10 upgrade. So if you have any questions, again, I would request you to please raise it across to my expert panel to get it answered. Well, so moving forward, we are going to discuss about a real-time scenarios and what is its solution in the experience of Desktop Central. Well, scenario 1, I want to proactively resolve hard disk space issues before the user reports them. Is this possible? Yes, of course. We can go use the inventory reports by going down to the inventory. Please go to the inventory reports. As we already discussed about the list of report, we have computers by disk usage. Select this report, which gives you all the details, and you can choose your total capacity greater than and less than and the free disk space, and you can get the report according to your choice to address this. Scenario 2. I want to add additional information about my computers to the asset data. Is this possible? Certainly it's possible. Taking you back to the inventory, please click on computers. You have a list of computers shown in the network. So whatever computers you have, you'll be able to see that. And if you notice, you can see a pen icon, which is going to be your add edit computer information. So as I already mentioned, agent collects all the information of the hardware, software, and provides and publishes to the desktop central server. Apart from that, if I want to select some information to be added, yes, I can go ahead. I can specify the information about the machine and who's the owner, a search tag, which is nothing but my internal inventory number, the email address of the owner, the product number, followed by the shipping and expiry date. So if it is going to be a shipping and expiry date already provided, please do not make any changes. So manually editing the information may stop performing an automated scan from Desktop Central to collect this information from your respective vendor's warranty page. And you can save the details. So once it's saved, you'll be getting the information saved. And again, it's going to be tedious for all to add one after another. So again, we provide you a import from CSV option with the format. So please go to adhere this CSV format, provide the information again as whichever information you want. And if you want to skip certain things, please use a comma to skip that information, import it, and you'll be getting the data. And the same data you can also see in the reports. You can get the details even in the reports about the location. So we have added the location, the owner, the search tag. So if you see, you could get all the details you can see here. So we have added the information, so it's over here. So it's very simple for you to get things done. Well, so moving on to the scenario 3. So we have the policy to replace the computers older than 5 years. How do I get the list of those computers? So meaning that I just want to go back, revisit whatever machines that seems to be 5 years old machines. I want to get the data about the machine, so by which I can decommission, bring back a new machines. Well, again, I'm going to refer the reports. So going to the inventory reports, we have computers by age. Selecting these computers by age will show me the complete list over here. So I can see the 5 years old. I have 10 machines in 5 years old. When I click on it, it's going to show those 10 machines. You can see the 10 machines. I can export it to the PDF, CSV, and XLS for my printing purpose, or for my, I can share this information to my system team in order to make some necessary changes. And this information is captured from the BIOS. So agent captures this information from the BIOS, and that is going to be used for the age report. So moving on to the scenario 4. So shared directories with write access is a security threat. Eventually, yes, of course. So how to identify that? Can we identify them? Definitely we can identify them. So we can go back again to the inventory reports. Going to the inventory reports, you can also access the reports from the inventory reports as well as the reports module. And you should be able to see the inventory reports even from here. Just click on it, you get all the details. So now I'm just going to see the shared details. So when I click on the shared details, it provides me an information about the permission management about the share. So I can see here it's a read, write, full control. So definitely it's under threat. So by which I can get the details. Again, you can choose filter based upon your domains and remote offices, and also export it to the PDF CSV. Even if you would like to have more columns to be published, you can make use of the columns given over here. Fine. So moving on to the scenario 5. Dropbox is installed at the user level and would like to get the list of computers that have it installed. How do I identify it? So Dropbox is a kind of a user-based application which is going to be installed only by the user. For example, so I'm a user. I'm installing a Dropbox in my machine. When I log out, if any user comes inside, even if my administrator logs in and goes to the add demo program, nobody can see the Dropbox because it's a user-specific application which has been installed in my user profile. So it will be available in my add demo program only if I log in. In such condition, it's very hard to generate a report based upon this. But still, From desktop central inventory reports, we can get you the user-specific software. So we fetch this information based upon the agent. So agent has the ability to get the details from every user. So using this, you can see about in how many machines it's installed. You can choose the domain, the remote offices, the custom groups, and what specific application you want. You want to go with a commercial or even a prohibited application? Yes, you can go with that. And this is a summary view. If you want to know about the detailed view, the detailed view shows even the machine where it is installed. You can see here. So the machine and the user who has installed this application. Again, you have all the basic features of exporting to the PDF CSV, XLS, and choosing the columns and get this done as you wish. Scenario 6. So I want to identify the computers with local administrator accounts. Is this possible? Definitely it's possible, again, using the reports. So we have the reports. Going down to the reports again, you can switch over to the inventory reports. So we have the system group users, by which you can see the user's privilege, like whether it's an administrator or not. I want to see the list of Mac-based applications in the network and the details of such computers. So I want to look into the Mac-based, because so far we have discussed only about the Windows, but still I want to know about what machines which I'm managing in my network, like Mac machines, managing the network is having the details. I want to know about my Mac details. Yes, of course, you can just come to the inventory page. You could see about the computer by operating system on the dashboard with the graph of the Windows, the Mac, the Ubuntu, which falls under the Linux. So I have 8 machines, and when you click on it, you get the details. Who is the user and all the information. Okay. Well, I wanted to run an internal audit in a company to identify computers users which has movies or music files. How can I get this done? So meaning that I want to quickly run a check on all of my machines, knowing that who is having a specific files like movies, music, documents, and other things. Yes, we can do that. Going back again to the inventory, we have an option of schedule scan. So in this schedule scan, you can configure your inventory scan as well. Similarly, the file scan. So this file scan, you can schedule it. By using this scheduler, choosing weekly or monthly, you can go down to the computer's list. It shows all the machines. So choose a specific machine and go down to the file details. It will show you the list of informations over here about what is the data available in the machine. And similarly, you get the complete insight of a machine over here, like who's the user, how many hardware software is available. You get the hardware vendor information along with the shipping and expiry, which is the warranty information, and including the operating system key. The system details gives you more visibility about the services running in the machine, users, groups, shares available in the machine, the list of hardware components, including the slot in a physical memory, applications installed, the files available, the security just to show you the BitLocker available, and the antivirus, the firewall, and the missing patches. And it also shows you the USB audit details about any kind of machines which have been plugged in with any USB disk space, like any kind of a USB device details. You can get the information in the USB audit about what is the device and which user was using this USB device, what is the type of the USB device, even if it is going to be an Apple iPhone charged the machine or any kind of a pen drive, thumb drive, and the manufacturer information, when it was connected, disconnected, and how long it was used, and the recent changes happened in the machine, like any hardware, added remote software, install and uninstall, every detail is going to be shown over here in the computer. Well, so moving towards the scenario 9, is there a way to identify the various size of monitors, like desktop sizes available in my network? Yes, definitely. Again, I'm going to take you to the reports, and we're going to deal with the custom reports for hardware. So I can show you the monitor report. You can see the monitor reports. So it generates a report based upon what is the size of the monitor. And in order to get more insight how this could be done, remember we are talking about the computer hardware and software. So choose the hardware, select the hardware type which is equal to desktop monitor, and you can get this report as you wish, and you can go and modify the report here like this. You can choose the monitor, desktop monitor, select the columns, whichever columns you want to select, and just generate the report, and that gives you the report of the monitors. Well, so we're moving on to the final session of questions, of frequently asked questions. So let's quickly go with the question. So do we need to install both Asset Explorer Agent and Desktop Central Agent in all systems? We are having Service Desk Plus with System Tool plugin. Well, so the question is all about whether we need the Desktop Central Agent and the Service Desk Plus agent or Asset Explorer agent is required. Not at all. If you're having Desktop Central, as we already discussed in earlier presentation, we have the Desktop Central agent to make things work, and it takes care of all your asset management process, because in Desktop Central agent, that's going to help you to collect all the recent changes happen in the machine and post the data to the server. So Desktop Central agent alone is enough, and we don't require the Service Desk Plus and Asset Explorer agent, which does not have this intelligence in it. When you add a program to the prohibited software list, does it take all the version of the software into account? Do I need to update the prohibited software list every time a new version is released? Obviously, yes, of course. It's clear that I want to prohibit the Google Talk, or for example, let's take like I want to prohibit a 7-zip version 1, and I want to allow 7-zip version 2, for example. So in such condition, it helps you to only restrict or prohibit the specific application type, not the all of application, because I might require the other application also. So question 3. If the software that you want to prohibit is not already on your network, how can I block it using Desktop Central? So if the application is not available in the network, then we may not be able to prohibit at all. As you know, a prohibited software will help us to prohibit the application only if it is installed. So if it is not installed, then as we discussed in block executable, you can go ahead, add that application in the block executable, so by which the application cannot be launched in the network. What data is used to determine that the computer's warranty has expired? Well, so we have a report again, which gives a complete visibility about the computer warranty. So you can see about a soon to expire warranty. So as soon as, for the very first time, when the agent is installed, it runs a scan and posts the data to the server. It also provides the information about the hardware and software. So from where the Desktop Central captures this service tag information, and it accesses the respective vendor's web page and collects this information and publishes over here. So based on that, we get this shipping, the purchase date, and the expire date, which is the warranty expire. You can get this report based upon the choice, like how many days you want. You can get this report, and this report again, as we discussed earlier, we can also schedule this in your scheduler report to get it periodically reached to your inbox to get more information. On the inventory report of computers without specific software, how to specify filter criteria and schedule them. So again, we are going back to the inventory reports. So which is nothing but, the question is nothing but, I want to collect a report if the specific software report, and I want to schedule it in the reports module. So I can go to the schedule report. I can choose my inventory, computers with or without specific software. This is the place where we can figure out whether the application is available or not. So I'm going to see whether this application is not available in the machines. I'm just going to add the criteria. I'm selecting the software name, which is not equal, because I'm going to get a report based upon machines which is not available in this application. and I can go ahead. I can use the application with, for example, Adobe Reader DC, click OK and submit. So what happens is this will run a report. I'm going to schedule this based upon my desired time and date. So I'm going to receive this report saying that in my network, the Adobe Reader, Adobe Acrobat DC, wherever it is not installed, I'll be getting this report. So by which I can go ahead, get the report. I can make use of the software deployment in Desktop Central to install the Adobe Acrobat DC to those machines. So that is the objective over here. Does Desktop Central 9 detect what software is installed on each machine and detects if it is licensed? Yes. If you have an application installed and if it is getting added to our managed license, like how we did for the Managing MS Office 2016, then you'll be getting all the machine details with the in compliance, with the compliance status over there. Well, and we have another sub-question here. Does Desktop Central have the ability to detect what the product key for each software license? Exactly. We have a report again, and that report you can also get this over here. You can see here it's a software by product keys. So we have a report in inventory again, which helps you to provide you the software product keys. It gives the list of applications with its product key detail. For the product key details over here, you can see. Again, you can choose it for the domain, group, software-based, and even for the OS compatibility. And you can get the other basic requirements available here. So question number 7, how are Office 365 licenses managed since they are cloud-based? Well, so when a machine is installed with application, so if an application is installed and you have the licenses in the machine itself, the product key or the product ID is available in the machine itself, then it's easy to get the information from the machine. As you know, the agent has the ability to collect that and post it to the server by which we can publish it as a report. But when it comes for a cloud-based management, like a key management server, then it is going to be more challenged to go access and collect that license. However, we have given you the below link, which you can get it. This link would help you to add this as a feature request. So based on its feasibility check, we would be helping you to incorporate this feature in Desktop Central in the subsequent or in the future hotfixes in order to assist you even to manage the license keys for Office 365 on any other application which is managed in the cloud-based. Well, fine. So we have come to the end of this training, and I would recommend you and request you to please rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where the 5 is going to be the best. So please go ahead, use this, and you may also spread a word of providing the hashtag in your social medias, which is given on the screen, about Desktop Central and ManageEngine. And the next training schedule for remote control is going to happen on May 31st with the timing provided here. So I would invite you again in this opportunity to take for the remote control session. And again, I just want to revisit the secure your endpoints using Desktop Central, which is going to be a more timely training, which is going to help you out a lot to understand about doing your network or securing your endpoints using Desktop Central against the WannaCrypt ransom threat. And this is going to help you a lot. Fine. Well, so we have come to the end of the training session for today in Desktop Central Asset Management. Trust the training was helpful to you to get a hold on the asset management, and I would really appreciate all your patience and coordination and cooperation for this training, and thank you very much for all your active participation, and you all have a great day. Thank you a lot.